talking about before, what if I told you that just by going live on LinkedIn, you're already ahead of 99% of users? And most professionals hesitate to go live. Most people think, not sure is now the time. Maybe there's something else. What's better? What gets a better ROI, right? Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect content, the perfect setup. But that perfect moment never comes. It never comes. And that's what I want to talk about with you here today. I see people are joining me live. Glad to have you coming in. Go ahead and leave a note in the comments. Let me know if you're here live or on the replay so I can welcome you personally. And I am on a mission to empower you to speak up and increase your impact. And today's LinkedIn Live session is going to cover exactly how to use this format to raise your voice, share your story, and grow your reach so that you can establish yourself as the go-to person in your community. So whatever it is you're doing, I want you to be top of mind for people. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm joining you live from Vienna, Austria. I've been doing these live events here on LinkedIn since just before the pandemic, not just on LinkedIn, but other places as well. And today we're talking about best content types and balance for live events. It's part of my Go Live with Ease 4-part series. This is the first part, and we're running through them all in February. It's a short month, 4 parts. Let's keep it crisp and exciting because today we're talking about content, and this one's really important and actually something people ask a lot about, because if your content isn't relevant for your audience, we all get caught up in these hooks, or is it the image, or is it the polls or shorts, or how should I edit it to look cool? We can all get caught up in these things. But no matter how good your hook is, the image, the video editing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your content isn't resonating with your audience, if your content isn't triggering people to take action. And that's what we want to talk about today. Sure, all of these things will stop the scroll, which is key today, isn't it? Because we're all inundated with so much information. We want to stop the scroll, capture attention, get those eyeballs, but it's the content that's the glue that makes them stick, that keeps people listening and keeps the information in their mind so that they remember it even after you've stopped talking, even after they stopped watching, even after they swipe away. So we want to talk about that. We want to make sure that your message is seen by the right people, relevant to their desires. So what is it they really want or need to hear? And inspires them to want to work with you, to talk with you, to engage with you. If this is what you want, let's talk. If you think this is something that can benefit or help others, please share. Let others know about this. And I'm going to change my screen, take that welcome screen away. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm going to double check here before we stop in. Okay, good. So let's start with an engagement question. Let's start with a question because I want to hear from you. I want to know from you. Have you ever thought about going live, doing live streaming? Have you ever thought about it? Have you done it? And if you haven't, what's holding you back? I'd like to know. I'm really curious because we want to talk about that today. Is it the content? Is it the tech stuff? What is it that's holding you back? And I'm going to double check here to make sure I'm getting all of your responses. Mhm. I'm joining live as well. Perfect. Okay. Catherine, hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. For some reason, not all my messages are coming over. So I'm really glad I got to see your message here. Super. So, welcome, Catherine. Now, I know you are doing live events on the regular. What about for you is like the biggest struggle? I think we talked before about dealing with guests and what happens when they cancel. That's a big deal if your main source of content is your guest and they don't show up. That is a really good thing to consider and think about. I think we spoke about that before in a different session. And for me, I when I have guests, because I love having guests on here, I love people encouraging people to speak up and share their story. Or even if it's their first time doing a LinkedIn Live, sometimes I co-host with them, kind of a done with you service. Yet, if your guest is not available, if they're sick, if something happens, if I'm not available, what can we do? And I always recommend two options. One, I always have a plan B. Always have a plan B, C, D, E, and F. If you have something, if you're good at just have content that's ready to go, something that's already prepared that you can easily switch gears and still go live, still meet with the people who've registered because they've blocked out their time for you. The other option is if I'm the one who can't be available, if I'm sick, if I've lost my voice, then I send out a personal message. I let people know, usually written if I lost my voice. I'm speaking from experience here, a tactical plan. Yeah, I let people know I can't make it, but I've rescheduled it for such and such date. So those are two options. So always have a plan, lots of plans, so that when I'm in that situation, I can easily fall back on my emergency plans. But speaking to you about getting ahead of the 99% on LinkedIn. So, YouTube is a little bit different in that there are quite a few content creators. But when you look at your specific industry, your specific niche, your specific area of expertise, how many content creators are there? How many people are creating quality content and speaking about the things that you know about, you have experience with, you have knowledge and insights, or you can show a backdoor insight into a behind the scenes look. People love that. LinkedIn, YouTube, any other social media platform, there are way more consumers than creators. Think about that. The number of consumers far outweigh the creators. LinkedIn, for example, has over a billion users, but fewer than 1%, less than 1% create content and post regularly. Less than 1%. So if you start creating, which is what we want to talk about now, that puts you ahead of most of the users on LinkedIn. And especially when you narrow down that pool and think about your specific niche or area of expertise. So it's an easy game to win. It's an easy numbers game to win. But fear is common. People are afraid. There's the video. How am I going to look when my teeth? Ah. Yeah, I can relate to that. A lot of people can. And that's what holds people back. And if you can overcome that, if you can get the right mindset that helps you remember, actually, no one cares if I have braces or not. No one cares if my earphone's sticking up funny, or no one cares if there's a bit of echo here. If my content is good, ooh, now I'm out of focus. If the content is good, if it's valuable, if it's resonating with your listeners, that other stuff doesn't matter. The most important thing is showing up, being present, being you. Visibility, credibility, and opportunities come from showing up and showing up consistently. Just putting in the reps, just like going to the gym and working out. It's not about that one time when you lifted, 5 pounds extra or pushed the limit a little bit more. No, it's about showing up consistently. day after day after day. This is exactly what puts you in the top 1%. All right? So that's my biggest message. Like, it's an easy numbers game. And let's talk about your content strategy. We want to have the right content strategy for your audience. Okay? A lot of people, in fact, if I do a Google search, many people are searching, they want to know what type of content gets the most engagement? What type of content performs best? What type of content should I do? This is an excellent question. It's an absolutely like well like it's in you're it's coming from the right place, right? It's like, I have this valuable thing I want to share. I have this insight I want to share. I have a message I want to let people know about, and I want them to hear it. So it's coming from the right place. However, anytime we're looking for a generic answer, anytime we're looking for the one pill that's going to cure all, disappointment soon follows. Disappointment soon follows. And I encourage you to think about it this way. What type of content gets the most engagement from your audience? That's the key part. Your audience. Okay, so here we have to think about a lot of different things. What do I mean by that? Let's unpack it a little bit. Different audiences respond to different content styles because at the end of the day, many people think about, okay, what's being favored by the algorithm? We hear that a lot. What does the algorithm like right now? For a while, it was polls. Then it was shorts and long form articles or long form posts, long form video, which is what this is. It's about 20 minutes we're looking at. This is the format. But as I said before, the format, it is an element to consider, but we really need that content to connect. We need that content to connect with the people who you want to listen. We don't want to attract everyone. We want to attract the people who are waiting to hear your message, who are looking for the answers that you have and you're providing. And so that depends on what your field is. Are you in B2B? Are you looking for like-minded thought leaders and you want to collaborate? It depends on what you're looking for, right? So we want to look at what resonates with your audience. And the content we're creating, although it can be easy to get distracted, we're not creating content for the algorithm, but rather for the people. Even when we're in B2B, at the end of the day, it's people who are making those decisions. It's people who are viewing your content. It's people who are engaging with you, individuals, humans, right? Not an algorithm. Yes, the algorithm plays into whether or not they can see it, whether or not it's shown to them and it shows up. We do, I do understand the algorithm's important, but that's not what today is about. Today is really about connecting with your audience and inspiring action. All right, good. So there's no one size fits all advice, and we want to find what works for you and your audience, right? So we want to get your brand out there, your authenticity, sharing your insights. Everyone's good at something. Leverage what you're good at. Lean into that because that will work for you. It's going to attract the people you want to engage with, and it's going to inspire connection and action. I was listening to some content recently that I found really inspiring. There was a content creator talking about what he likes. He said he likes cars, he likes good design, he's really inspired by things that, motorcycles and fast cars. And so he was paying attention to what stops his scroll on social media in his free time. So noticing what stops my scroll personally, is it the cooking? kind of videos or the decluttering videos? Are you more interested in pets, cute little fuzzy doggies, or what sorts of things, Mr. Beast, what sorts of things stop your scroll and ask yourself why? What is it about this video that I stopped? Is it someone sharing their story or giving me a behind the scenes look? What is it that attracts me here? And use that to also attract your audience. Create things that you enjoy creating that helps with motivation, ease, and flow, as well as attracting the audience you want. Okay, often it's the same as what we're doing. It just makes for a better match. If I'm really into race cars and fast moving motorcycles and exciting sexy design, then that's probably going to attract my clients, or luxury brands, travel, kids, pets, etc. A lot of people will say, hey, for example, you've probably seen this on a LinkedIn post or on Facebook. This picture is just for the algorithm because it works. It attracts the viewer they want just for that moment. And then the content, what they're speaking about in the video, whatever it is that the hook brought the people in for, is the glue that keeps them attracted. So that's what we want. So I encourage you to remember that there is no one size fits all advice, and it's about finding what works for you. So experiment with adding text on video, having a slides, using visuals, timing, different times a day. Just experiment with all of that. And remember, use different formats. And we talked about kind of a behind the scenes look, a reveal, an unboxing, or maybe you want to do a talking head video like I'm doing right now, different formats. But remember, this is the most important thing. Failure isn't just failure. Failure is feedback. It's feedback, not defeat. So we take what doesn't work and we switch it up and see what we can experiment, what fits better for us and our audience. All right. So whether you're listening live or in the replay, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Go ahead and drop some messages in the comments because I'm going to read them and I will come back and feedback and connect with you personally. Is there something, have you had any aha moments? Is there something you've heard that you don't want to forget? Go ahead and drop that in the comments. Drop that in the comments so I can see what is most valuable for you. That's what I want to talk about. So we're moving through the content for today, and today's content is the best content types and balance for live events. This is part one in my 4-part series for the month of February, going live with ease. Now we're moving on to number 3, how to create content the quick and easy way without becoming a full-time creator, right? If you want to be a content creator, if you are a content creator, that is awesome. Do it, do it, do it. Maybe you're even finding a few things here that are helpful for you. But this is mainly for people who are leaders, thought leaders, leaders of people, processes, or ideas, and are looking to get their name, their face, their brand, their reputation out there on social media so they can be seen and recognized for their value. So, and they don't want to be full-time content creators. I get it. So, when I ask people what is the biggest challenge when it comes to content creation, I hear time, or not knowing what to write about, or I keep saying the same thing over and over, right? Absolutely. Or how can I say this in a different way? I feel like I'm reinventing the wheel. So that's what I want to discuss in this point. We want to tackle those concerns about time because you don't want to be a full-time content creator. I mean, if you can hire one and outsource that, that is great, but still we want to make sure that it's authentic to you and having that personal brand, because if it's created by someone else for someone else, that's not going to work for you as well as personal branded content. So it's about time, it's about consistency, it's about engagement. Hello, hello, welcome. Glad to see new people coming in. Go ahead and leave a comment and I can welcome you personally because they don't show me your name unless you comment. So I welcome you to comment. We are going through and discussing, trying to keep content consistent and easy peasy. All right, so we talked about some of the concerns, and my biggest insight about content creation when not being a content creator full time is repurposing content. This is the game changer for me. This was a huge light bulb in my world. I like to use my live streams. So I'm with you for about 20 to 30 minutes on a Thursday afternoon for me because I'm speaking live from Vienna, Austria. And I will turn this one event into multiple content items. In fact, I can get within a few hours, I can get an entire month of quality content, original content from one live event because you can repurpose it. You can reshare it, reuse it just exactly as it is, or cross post it to different platforms. And you can repurpose it. I can pull out different clips with a tool like Opus. I can leave a link for that if you're interested below, and create short clips. I can create a text post. I can pull out a quote and make a quote post. And I can do a lot of different things. I can create an article, a listicle. I can create carousels. Catherine, for me, the hardest part is getting people to attend and marketing event. It seems like LinkedIn doesn't favor the algorithm on posts about these kinds of events. I'm going to agree with you on that one. This is a topic that I'm going to dive deep into in the fourth session. So today's about content. We're going to talk about the 4 pillars throughout the month of February, and having issues loading my event. That's not okay. I'm trying to engage. So in the 4th week of February, we're going to do a deep dive into LinkedIn presence. We're going to talk about marketing there and attracting people, getting them to attend. One thing I know that you do really well is to simultaneously run live events on both LinkedIn and YouTube so that you can have, well, not all your eggs in one basket, so that if there's an event on, or not an event, if there's a technical problem on one of the platforms, you can easily transfer your audience to the other so you don't miss that momentum, which is something I think you do really well. But I encourage you, Catherine, to go under my events and go ahead and sign up for that 4th session. I will promote it as well. In fact, I'll probably send you a personal invite. Good. So what about repurposing content? Repurposing content, a lot of people feel nervous or weird about it. Like, I don't want to post the same thing 4 times. Newsflash, people will not get your message the first time. They will not get your message the first time. We need to keep saying it over and over. If you have a quality message, we won't get bored. We want to hear it again. I mean, I have certain movies or books that I reread or rewatch every year, right? Like things that are good, that are quality, that are meaningful for us. We won't get bored. We will not get bored. But other practical tips I want to share with you while we're on this point of time and time stress. So, repurposing is an easy way to create more content from one piece of content, but also to batch content. So if I'm making, for example, I say, okay, from this one event, I want to create polls. For example, I heard polls are really good. So in each event, I have certain questions I ask. So I'll do the polls with the different answer options and I'll create all 4 of them at once. And then I have a month of polls if I do one a week, for example. Do that. That If I try and do it each week fresh, it will take me more time, but I can save it in a document. I can save it on a notepad. It doesn't have to be super technical. I can preload it in LinkedIn so that it's pre-scheduled and will come up on its own. There is some evidence that suggests LinkedIn doesn't like that as much, and the algorithm won't show it to as many people. So maybe you want to do that copy and paste over as you wish. But do that batch creation so that your brain can get into a flow and create those things pretty easily. And use templates. I love templates. Use batch content and use templates for efficiency. Make it easy on yourself. Like, no one needs an amazing new format every time. It's the content, it's your core message that's valuable, not how you present it, usually, unless you're amazing at presentation, in which case we really need to talk. I would love to know more about that. So go ahead and use different formats like polls, newsletters, shorts to publish your content and repurpose your content easily. Now we're moving on. We only have a few minutes left, and I want to tell you the most important thing, my biggest message today that I really want you to hear, which is probably why I'm saying it 4 times, is to start. The most important thing is to start. What is stopping you from trying live streaming today? What is it that's holding you back? Catherine mentioned not having people show up and knowing how to market it. And, I hear that. In fact, I was giving a live session, a live in person event, face to face, not digital, at LinkedIn Local Vienna back in November. And that was kind of one critique someone mentioned. They said, well, going live, you shouldn't go live till you have at least 200 people able to sign up or 2,000 followers or something like that. To which I say, no. Why should we create more barriers to entry? There aren't enough people doing it. So if you start now, this content is automatically saved within LinkedIn, or you can save it within a library on YouTube or another channel or download it. And this is your content to use, repurpose, cross post, reference, share the link with people now and into the future. We are creating a library of content for you. How is that not a good thing? How is that not a good thing? So, should you wait and deny future viewers and listeners just because, well, I don't have enough people yet? It's like the cart before the horse and the horse before the cart. The most important thing is to start. And perfection is the enemy of progress. So start now. Learn as you go and improve along the way. You can use simple tools and strategies to launch without stress. And I really encourage you to go ahead and start with LinkedIn Live because visibility, especially on social media platforms, especially in 2005, really matters. And as we talked about in today's session, the first of 4, tailor your content to your audience. I want you to test, experiment, and refine because content is important. This is the glue that keeps people listening. This is the glue that shows that what you have to say, what information you're sharing, what you're visually showing is valuable for your audience. But as far as the other things, the format, the questions, the engagement, the slides, yeah, go ahead and test, experiment, and refine. The main thing is to just start because action beats perfection every single time. Action beats perfection every single time. And if you want personalized feedback on your LinkedIn Live readiness, if you're like, Elizabeth, sounds good and it sounds so encouraging, but like, I don't know what to do. I've got tech stuff or content. I'm still not clear. You didn't get specific enough for me. I want to ask you specific questions about my industry or my brand or my LinkedIn presence. There are a couple options for you. One, you can always send me a DM or leave a message below, leave a comment. I'm here. Let's engage. Two, the other option is if you don't want to connect with me directly, you can watch my 4-part session in February. And I'm going to put this up for you right now so you can see the overview. So that's the one from today. And this is the overview for February. Like I said, it's a 4-part series, and there are 4 pillars in LinkedIn Live readiness. The first one is content, which we talked about today. Next week, we're diving into the best brand. I'm talking about your verbal brand, your visual brand, personal branding, which is a big old buzzword right now. So important. That is next Thursday. Go ahead under my events and sign up for that. If you don't know, just send me a DM, write a message. I want brand. I want to sign up for the branding, and I'll hook you up with that. Number 3, third week in February, we're going to be talking about, this is a hot one, tech setup, what you need and how to grow. So no matter where you are in your journey, I'm going to help you get clear about that. And number 4, this is what Catherine was asking about earlier. Number 4 is LinkedIn presence. So specifically for LinkedIn, what do you need to go live, connect with your audience, market, get people there, and get that feedback, get that interaction, get the results you want for the effort and energy you're putting into your live streaming sessions. That's all coming up this month. And if you're just like, I can't wait, Elizabeth, I need to know more. I'll tell you what, if you give me 3 minutes, just 3 minutes, I will give you a personalized report on your LinkedIn Live readiness quiz. Yeah, so here's the Go Live with Ease quiz. There's a QR code right there. You can see that. It's a diagnostic quiz. Seriously, it takes less than 3 minutes to complete. You can either use the QR code, scan that in your phone, or you can use the link. I will also put that in the comments below. And I will give you a personalized report on your LinkedIn readiness based on these exact 4 pillars that we're covering here in the month of February. And why am I doing this? And why should you care about this? I'll tell you, because there are people searching and waiting to hear exactly what you have to share. And I know you can do this. Yes. Thanks for joining me today, and I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.